Justin loves Satan.
I'm not quite sure how to react in this situation.
Sushi jackknife. 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 Yeah.
Is that your mouth sound? Oh, listen to that.
That's the inside of my mouth.
That's cute. What's mine sound like?
It's fun. That's a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Do you think there were ever any ancient cultures based around just this? You know?
I think so. If you ever have to ride public transportation and you don't want anyone to sit near you, just sit in the corner of the bus or the train or whatever, just going
with your mouth wide open
the whole time.
If you could do that at another person, that would be great too. Just welcome to Sushi Jackknife.
Hey, that was a life hack. I think we need more life hacks.
Ooh, on the show?
Yeah, we don't have enough life hacks.
You know, we tried doing segments one time. Should we bring a segment back?
Do people
life hacks?
Do people still say life hack?
I do.
That was a thing for a while.
I know what you mean by that.
That was a thing, and it was always like, life hack. You don't have to buy toilet paper. You can just rub your butt on the wall. Life hack. They're like, that's not a good life hack.
Just pick one wall in your house.
Use tinfoil makes great toothbrushes. And you know it doesn't. That's a bad life hack.
You could turn a Q-tip into antibiotics. What? Are you sure about that?
Life hack.
Life hack.
Just leave your bread in the window, and when it molds, penicillin.
Booyah! Scrape it off.
Never go to a doctor again.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
I just have all kinds of feelings about that.
Yeah, I just never have seen one of those life hack things where I got done reading it and went, that is really helpful to life.
Yeah.
I feel like you've hacked something.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to use this in the future.
I mean, the internet is just chock full of that stuff, though.
Yeah.
It's just anything you need to know. It's right there.
I was thinking about this one day. Think about what the internet is.
Okay.
And how incredible the internet is.
It is incredible.
Like, we can share all of the information we have with every other human being.
Right.
In the world, in like fractions of a second, we can do this.
Yes.
And we use it for things like that and porn.
Yep.
Like, that's the whole thing.
No, that's right. That's right. I mean, well, porn's interesting because I remember maybe I was watching something about the history of film or something like that, but they were making this point that every time a new medium is developed, the first thing to adopt it is usually porn.
It's very true. So I had to learn this in my media class in my conservative Christian university I went to. Which it makes it extra fun for me. So back when VHS was coming around, there was VHS and there was Betamax.
Right.
The deciding factor is the porn industry chose VHS.
That's
they didn't care about Betamax, and Betamax died.
Wow.
Back when Blu-ray came around.
Mm-hmm.
There is Blu-ray and there is HD DVD.
Right, I remember HD DVD.
Same thing happened.
Porn shows Blu-ray.
Porn shows Blu-ray, which, by the way, if you're the person who is buying porn on a DVD, and you're like, wow, I really need this in Blu-ray. I need crisper details. You're a freak, and I don't want to be around you.
No, yeah, but porn works just fine in standard def, I feel like. Don't you feel? Yeah.
It needs to be crisp. You want to see everything.
I want to count every pube.
I don't like it. I don't like that person. I don't want to be around that person. I don't want to know anything about that person.
Porn's a thorny issue, I mean, for lots of reasons. I see a lot of there's actually someone at my work in the garage, the parking garage, has a sticker on the car that just says "Porn kills love" or something like that.
Oh,
And I think that probably refers more to porn addiction.
Which is a very different thing.
Very different thing. Casual use of pornography is not the same thing as not if that's the only way you can get somewhere, then it might be a problem.
If you are losing jobs,
right,
and friends and loved ones because you're sitting at home going, I haven't looked up big boobs in a while.
Right.
It's been half an hour. What if there are new ones?
You know what? There always are. Yeah.
The internet. Yeah. That's what it's for.
That's it. Porn.
The miracle that we've created. You have an endless supply of breasts.
That's true. I think I saw. Hello, Mom. I think I saw my first pair of naked. No, maybe not. There was probably someone had a Playboy at some point. Magazine, physical magazine. But I think I did. I do remember going on Playboy.com not long after we got the internet and waiting an enormous amount of time for a picture of a naked woman to
6.5
populate.
minutes later.
Right, exactly. And
you had gotten down to the waist,
right.
And that's really all you needed.
And I'm 15 and I'm just watching it line by line. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's loading. I think that's a nipple.
And then it finishes and you're just like, cool.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. We sound like pigs.
I mean, that's the reality of the situation.
That is what happens.
I'm not saying it's a good situation. But I'm also not going to condemn them for choosing to do that.
Right. Well, no, yeah.
That's their choice.
Again, it's a complex issue. It is a complex issue.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a black and white thing. Whether I don't see that it being bad. I don't see it as 100% bad. Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not 100% bad.
It's confusing in the sense of who chooses who is doing things.
That yes, wherever there's like a power dynamic, I think that's important to look into. Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Right. I inadvertently, this is unrelated. I inadvertently frightened a group of children today. Unrelated.
That's very unrelated. Man, that was a hard right turn.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're known for our segues.
Yeah, man, porn. Anyway, so there were some kids I saw today.
So routinely at work, I interact with groups of children, right? And they're usually middle school to high school aged, right? They happen to be a middle school group.
Right.
And I've been doing this accent at work. We stumbled upon this character who appears, he's a professor of paganism. He's a British fellow. He appears in a lot of, BBC type documentaries about
naturally
witchcraft and Wicca and things. We stumbled on him, my friends and I, a documentary he made about the development of Wicca in Britain. And this guy is just a strange bird. His name's Dr. Ronald Hutton. Look him up. And he has this, a typical sort of British face. He's got this very long he's a gangly sort of man with this long, kind of like a overgrown page boy haircut situation going on. And he's tweed. He's just
that is exactly what I would have expected. Yeah.
He's just overdressed in every occasion. Like he's wearing tweed and a collar and a sweater. And
the picture I have right here, from the Sacred Lands and Spiritual Landscape Symposium that he spoke at.
Sounds right.
He has a green vest.
Oh, it's the same one, I bet.
Like four
that's
buttons.
The same one.
4 buttons.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a tie. I think that's an ascot.
Oh, very fancy.
With his large collared shirt.
Yes.
And then large lapels on his tweed jacket.
Indeed. It's like all his suits are from 1970. Like, anyway, this guy, he just has this really distinct voice. That's the guy. He's watching this thing on paganism. He's talking about enthusiasm, and I was just able to nail his accent extremely well. And so this morning with the children, I decided to talk like Ronald the entire time. So the children were coming in and I said, hello, chaps. How are you this morning? And then I felt like I had to keep it up. Because I have an opportunity to speak to all the children over a microphone and I say, hello.
So,
and people just... The waters just parted.
What
people
age were these
creeped
children?
Out middle school. People just parted. Like, they heard my voice and they were like, I'm going to get some distance from this guy.
How many of them are going to be prescribed Xanax because of you?
Maybe a few. And I think the teacher was on to me. I think he knew that I was pretending, because I felt like, okay, now I've done this. I have to keep up the act the whole time.
And the teacher was going, Pagan Brit.
Yeah. And so
Pagan Brit.
Right. And so I'm shaking hands with the guy and I say, oh, thank you very much. And he just gives me this very like, what the fuck is going on with that guy kind of look, which is exactly what I wanted.
Right.
That's exactly what I was hoping for. Let me see if I can find a little clip of Ron for you real quick.
I found a better picture.
Okay.
And he is most definitely wearing an ascot and not a tie.
He's a strange fellow.
Practiced here, only one is truly British. Modern pagan witchcraft.
Yeah, that gives you an idea. That's called a very British witchcraft. That is on YouTube. I recommend it.
A very British witchcraft.
He also had a short-lived show called Professor Hutton's Curiosities, where he would go around to museums with like animal skeletons and like big glass jars full of bats and stuff.
That sounds okay. That sounds like an okay show. Uh-huh. Here's what I think would be a good show.
Enthusiasm. Yeah.
And take all of that.
Okay.
And throw that into a Housewives show. Or Love and Hip Hop if you want to do that. Either one of those where it devolves into women throwing drinks in each other's faces because that's where we're at as a society. That's entertainment to us.
That's true. Can they be pagan women?
And he's just standing off to the side going, hold up.
At one point in the Wicked Man documentary, so this guy, Gerald Gardner, is like the guy that brought Wicca to the forefront in England. And he was this like nudist guy, retiree, who just got into witchcraft, right? And they would have, ritual ceremonies. And, he had like a ceremonial knife. And Ronald is meeting this guy who has some of his stuff. And so he's like, here's the scepter he had. Here's this knife that he had, which, by the way, is a dick on the handle. It's a dick. And then a knife on the other end.
Dick knife.
And then there's these crowns, and there's this big, like, horned crown. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, do you want to try it on? And Ronald's like, if you would like me to do that, yes. And he's like, it's remarkably comfortable.
The whole time I'm just picturing him shaking his head going, sure, yeah.
I'm not quite sure how to react in this situation. Everything is like, when you speak like him, everything is like right here in the teeth and the lips.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's right there. Yes. Hello, children. Do you have to wee?
He would be good on Big Brother, too.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Just imagine the talking head portions from other people. I don't know. I think I'm getting along really well with everyone in the house, except Ronald. He keeps leaving his shrunken heads on my nightstand, and I'm just not all about that life.
They are a gift. They are from the priestess of Scandinavia.
I would watch that. Yeah. That's the only way you're going to get me to watch Big Brother is putting him on there.
Ronald led me to another idea, which is maybe something we should put together.
Okay.
I have this idea I don't know if it's a book or a podcast or what it is, but I call it Unrepentant Weirdoes, a catalog of strange birds.
Okay.
Wherein
it's just a list of people you think are weird.
Exactly. It's like, Exactly. So this guy's on there, obviously. We could come up with lots of other people, but I picture there being like a pencil illustration of them.
Gary Busey's on there.
Gary Busey's there, and then a couple paragraphs about them. Right?
You know,
copyright Sushi Jackknife. We just came up with that.
You know, it'd be a sick burn. Just in the middle, put one person we know. Just like this whole list of weirdos.
Total
and it's just,
weirdos.
Kobe.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it just came to me in a flash. I was like, he's an unrepentant weirdo. He's just such a fucking weird guy.
Wayne Coyne.
Wayne Coyne's great.
He would be on there.
I love Wayne
He'd
Coyne.
be in there.
But he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
It's
not a bad thing
no,
to
it's
be
not
a
a bad
weirdo.
thing. No. Well, see, that would be my angle. Kind of like our angle on the Bob Show.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, we're going to poke fun, but we love this.
Yeah.
We love the world would be lesser without all these fucking strange birds running around.
You want weirdos.
You want weirdos.
Imagine
Right.
a world where no one was weird.
Yeah.
Everyone behaved the same way.
It would be.
We all followed societal norms.
Right.
That would be boring. How many stories would you have?
No stories.
Like, all
No
of your stories would be, so
Right.
I was at a restaurant. Anyway, I ate food, and that's how that went down.
It was fine. Yeah, you know those books like, they have them by state. There's like a weird Georgia book. There's a weird Tennessee book or Atlas Obscura. All that stuff. I love all that stuff, like weird places you can go to. In fact, we've talked about doing that at different points on the show. Speaking of Wayne Coyne, by the way, this is something I saved.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Well, I don't know. We're always drinking on the show. However,
not in life.
Yeah, we're always drinking. We don't usually make it a feature of the show, but I saw this at the liquor store. This is a beer by Dogfish Head. Fantastic beer company. They make great beer. They were making IPA.
Strange name.
Before, well, yeah.
Yeah, they're
before.
They were at the forefront of IPAs.
Yeah,
for better or worse, they've ruined our society.
Like 15 years ago, I was buying Dogfish Head IPA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is the beer made in collaboration with the Flaming Lips. Wayne Coyne, Flaming Lips. It's called Dragons and Yum Yums.
I'm still like 25% certain we're going to taste this and find out it's just liquid acid.
It might not be good. According to it's a very pink label with dragons and little fruit
I do like
guys.
the label.
I know, it's cute.
It's very fun.
There's little guys riding on the dragon. It's like a Chinese dragon. It is described as a pale ale brewed with dragon fruit and yum berry, passion fruit, pear, and black carrot juices.
Okay, that's too much.
That's a lot going on. All right.
That is way too many flavors you got going there.
Okay, let's try it. This is from their Off-Centered series, featuring Michael Hacker. Interesting. I don't know what that means. Some sort of, I don't know. Maybe that's the artwork. I don't know.
I was just wondering if beer is like
Here's a little
a hip hop song now,
Could
where
be.
it just features random people.
Cheers. I poured it in cute little glasses for us.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, that's nice. The fruit is a little more muted than I expected.
See, it's a little bit less muted than I expected.
I mean, it's fruity. It's fruity.
We were expecting two very different things. You seem to be expecting a cider,
I kind of did, yeah. I expected
and
very
I
fruity.
expected it to taste terrible.
The fruit is nicely incorporated. It still tastes like a pale ale, but there's like a fruit edge to it, if I will.
I wish that there was a way to describe the color of it too.
It's a bit pinkish.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, it's very dark down here in the podcast.
This is why
basement.
he gets to be in our book of weirdos.
Mm-hmm. He made a beer one time, and also an album with Miley Cyrus that we both were appreciating earlier.
It wasn't terrible.
It was not terrible.
I wanted it to be terrible. I assumed it would be
What was the
terrible.
name of that again?
Miley Cyrus and Her Dead Pets.
And Her
with
Dead
a Z.
Pets with a Z. I'm going to have to listen to that more fully. Yeah, anyway. I seem to remember an episode of Sushi Jackknife where we ate vegan beef jerky.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
That was sticky.
That did.
Yeah, it was sticky.
I almost forgot all about it until just now because
And I brought it up.
I blocked it out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I brought it up. What's the alcohol content of this thing? Hang on.
100.
Yeah, well, that would that would be. Have you ever had barley wine? Barley wine
No.
is like beer, but like 13% alcohol. It's this is 6.5. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, barley wine does not even taste like beer anymore.
Okay.
It's a kind of a weird in between thing, and I don't care for it. And you get real drunk real fast.
Well, I would assume so.
Yeah, real fast. Barley wine.
That's not.
Watch out.
That's
Watch
not
out.
a bad selling point.
No, you get real drunk real fast. Barley wine. If you need an ad for barley wine, we're your people.
If efficiency is the thing you're looking
Right.
for,
Efficiency is key here. Barley wine. We've been kicking around the idea of doing a movie. We haven't done a movie since we did Die Hard for one of our Christmas episodes.
I thought for a second you were talking about making a movie.
Making a movie?
I'm like, I don't think we're ready for that.
No, I do want to make a movie at some point, though. I do. I mean, a very low budget, obviously.
It would be an ultra low
Ultra
it would
low
be
budget.
so low budget
Yeah.
that the mumblecore people
Right.
would look at it and go, oh, they didn't have any money?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang.
I was going to ask, like, the puffy chair, right?
Yeah.
Like, it would be, like, kind of like that,
It,
right?
it would be like that, but
Yeah.
with a lower budget.
Okay, good. Good. That's
Have
what
you seen the puffy chair?
I have still not seen the puffy chair. I want to see the puffy chair.
I recommend anything the Duplass brothers do
That's
at
what I
this
was going to
point.
say. The Duplass brothers. Okay.
On Netflix. Speaking
on
of
there?
the Duplass brothers.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know if it still is.
Mm.
But you need to go see... They didn't write it. They just produced it, but Mark Duplass is in it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think what the movie is, but Ray Romano is in it with
Oh,
him.
wow.
And it's about him finding out he had... Not Ray Romano, Mark Duplass. Finding out he has cancer and deciding he wants to have doctor-assisted suicide.
Wow.
It is a laugh riot.
You know, I really like Ray Romano as an actor, as a serious actor.
I was talking about this while we were watching it. Mm-hmm. How long was that show on?
What's the name of the show?
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
It was like 10 seasons at least,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Imagine what he could have done in 10 seasons of TV if he had been doing real acting.
I know.
Because he's a good actor.
He's a good dramatic actor. He was,
Paddleton, by the way, is the name of the movie.
what's it called?
Paddleton.
Paddleton. He was great on one of those dramas that I didn't want to watch, but Ray made it better. The Parenthood? No.
No, that was it.
Was that it?
He was in that.
The
yeah.
Parenthood, yeah. Yeah.
He so on this one, he's the friend who tags along
Okay.
as they go on a road trip before the guy decides to kill himself.
Wow.
They get the prescription pills and everything.
Oh, wow.
And then there's very serious scenes where he's taking them. And you're watching it going, he was on a sitcom for a decade.
Right? Where's the canned laughter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Oh, that sounds great.
But not the funniest movie you've ever seen.
Doesn't sound like it, but it does sound, engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Ray's comedy special that came out not too long ago?
No, it's on my Netflix queue, but
Okay.
I have not watched it.
I watched it, and I mean, I thought the fun thing about it was you're just kind of going on a walk with him to clubs he used to perform at regularly.
So it's kind of like the Seinfeld before Seinfeld thing that they had on Netflix.
I guess I did. I honestly didn't watch that.
That was it. Was a lot of him talking about like when he was starting in comedy and coming up in the clubs and sprinkled in with new stand up.
Yeah, but like you're like on the street with Ray, like
Right.
he's on his way to do the gig, and the camera just
Okay.
it's kind of one shot. Like the camera just follows him from the street. He says hello to people, whoever's
Interesting.
there, on into the gig, and then the camera angle goes on stage. Ray's on stage, does the stand up, leaves there, goes to another club, does another set.
Oh, so he's like doing the New York hopping from
Yes.
club to club thing.
Exactly. He's doing that thing.
Picking up all the open slots.
Any spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see him he's nervous.
Which
Yeah.
is kind of hilarious when you think about Ray Romano doing that at this point.
Yeah.
Because, like, if Ray Romano came to town, it doesn't matter if he's done any stand-up in the last decade.
Right.
He's selling it out.
A zillion people are going to see it.
Yeah, it's Ray Romano.
It's Ray Romano. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So it was charming. That's about all I can say about it. It was charming. By the end, he meets up with his family. They're at the second gig. Mm-hmm. He meets up with them and they go have dinner.
No, that's very nice.
And it's like one shot the whole time.
That's very nice. I'll have to watch that.
Very cool.
Anyway,
Very
movies.
Cool. Movie. Do a movie on the show, which we haven't done since Die Hard, one of our Christmas episodes. And I don't know if we're going to do this one or not, but I thought, it was worthy of submission. I'm probably going to go see this soon at our local art theater.
Okay.
This is a movie called Hail Satan, ? And it's about the Church of Satan.
Can you say it right real quick?
Hail Satan.
No, it's a question mark. It's Hail Satan.
Great day to be a Satanist. I believe it, and I'm very excited about it.
Are they
Did you hear that? He says, he's standing in front of like a state capitol, and someone yells out, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's a great day to be in South Carolina. It's a great day to be a Satanist." And they're like, "You're gonna go to hell." And he's like, "Yes, and I believe that, and I'm very excited about it."
That's the plan, buddy.
or just misunderstood?
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Hail Satan. Hail Satan.
The documentary Hail Satan
Oh,
explores
I'm sorry. This is the Inside Edition, and I did not mean to click that. I meant to click the actual trailer. Here we go.
It's a beautiful day here at the state capitol. Great day to be a Satanist. I believe it, and I'm very excited about it. We're not what you think we are.
Satanic Temple was an idea between a handful of people directly confronting authority.
This makes life fun.
State officials have put up a 10
Yeah,
commandments
so
on government property.
a lot of this goes into their whole crusade that okay. I think it's important to point out people in this particular branch of the Church of Satan, or Satanic Temple, whatever they're called,
right?
They don't actually worship the devil.
That's really most of them,
right? They don't believe in a devil. They don't. They're atheists. Yeah.
The Church of Satan, for the most part, is a group of atheists who hate the church.
Right.
That's really
that's kind of it. Yeah. Well, and they think that and they're very church and state separate.
Yeah.
So one of the things they're doing. Oh, go ahead.
It's very to me the Church of Satan is always very similar to like the spaghetti monster idea.
Yes.
Where
exactly.
it's like, okay, well, we have a deity now too. Nah.
Right. It's a spaghetti monster. Yeah, right. I love the spaghetti monster idea. So like one thing they're doing here is some state gets the 10 Commandments put on state property.
I remember this story.
You remember this story?
I don't remember what state it was, but I remember this.
And so the Church of Satan hears about it and they say, well, if you can do that, freedom of religion, we want a satanic. Yeah. And so they have this, like, the goat guy with the horns. What do they call him? Baphomet or whatever?
Yeah.
Baphomet. With the pentagram behind him and children going up to him looking lovingly into his goat eyes. You
Naturally.
know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of... And to me, it's hilarious.
Well, I mean, the whole point of it is just to mess with people.
It's just to fuck with people. That's what
all they want to do.
In a way, okay, I'm not saying I'm a Satanist. I'm not saying that. Not saying that. But in a way...
You heard it here first, folks. Justin is a Satanist.
Not saying that.
Justin loves Satan.
No, I'm not saying that. Oh, God, it makes me so nervous. I'm not saying that at all. But in a way, I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, I think these are my people. Like, I'm like, wow, like... I really get what they're saying. Are you listening, pastors?
Oh man, this podcast is going to get you put on the list.
I know.
They just want to irritate.
There's a real straight-laced guy. There's a real straight-laced guy who's involved in this. He's like a bow tie wearing, looks like a genteel Southern fella who's a total Satanist, and I think that's just brilliant too. He's like, this is my freedom of religion, and it's like,
As a Satanist,
Hail
I believe
Satan.
that confronting injustice is an expression of one's satanic faith. You see Christian theocracy just creeping itself into our government, and it is our duty to stand up to this.
We want people to evaluate the United States being a Christian nation. It's not. We are supposed to be a nation that doesn't allow the government to dictate what is appropriate religious expression.
So I really want to see this movie.
And if anyone can listen to what that guy just said and argue with it, they're nincompoops.
Right. No, they make really solid arguments. I mean,
I know some people who would argue with it. They're nincompoops.
That's a good one. I like that term. So I don't know. I mean, we could go. It's called the Belcourt, the theater in town. We could go to the Belcourt.
Yeah.
We could see this with the midnight crowd or something. Might be a lot of fun. Just saying. I mean, these people are out there in full suits and stuff, but they're wearing horns. You know what I mean? Like,
well, of course.
They play into the thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's basically... The horns are basically the satanic yarmulke.
Right, exactly. If you're not wearing the horns, then what are you doing?
Oh, you're going to be banished to heaven when you die if you do that.
They're pissing off the Baptists in Missouri. I mean, I'm just eating this up. I'm eating it alive, you know? They're getting yelled at by random people, telling them they're evil.
It's fun mostly because every time there's a group that they go up against, it's a group of people that drive me nuts.
Right.
It's never like the reasonable people who are like, I mean, this is what I believe.
Exactly.
You don't have to believe what I believe.
Exactly.
But let me tell you what I believe. It's always the people who are standing out on the street with a bullhorn, screaming about, oh, you're going to go to hell because you're... Like, we went to the NFL draft this last weekend that was in town.
Yes.
There were people standing off to the side screaming at everyone to let them know that they were going to hell.
I saw them as well.
I don't even know why this time.
Right. The NFL draft was in town. I went down there for briefly on Saturday with Kentucky Roy. P.S. Had a great time. And, we saw those people, too. And I recognized them. They're the same fucking people that were at the Women's March, Nathan.
Oh, yeah.
The same fucking assholes,
They didn't talk to me then, either.
No.
They never will talk to me.
We engaged with them slightly, as I recall.
I tried, and the guy mostly just went, and moved me on.
Exactly.
Satanism is looking out for the other.
Looking out for the other.
Because we are the other.
We are the other, yeah.
I am following a code of ethics, having fellowship with brethren. Why can't that be a religion?
This is all upside down crosses and stuff. I just want to make sure that's known.
There's no doubt that this is my life's work.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
And then at the very end, they've got the guy, one of the leaders. I assume he's one of the leaders. I don't know. He's in a full black robe with the big scary horns. And he does this thing where he reaches out from the robe and fire comes out of his hand.
Wow.
And just as in effect, and then they laugh.
So, from Wikipedia, the Church of Satan. The church does not believe in the devil.
Right.
Nor a Christian or Islamic notion of Satan.
Yeah.
Peter Gilmore describes its members as, quote, skeptical atheists.
Yes.
Embracing the Hebrew root of the word Satan as adversary.
Yes, the adversary.
That's interesting.
In Job. Yeah, in Job.
The church views Satan as a positive archetype who represents pride, individualism, and enlightenment, and as a symbol of defiance against the Abrahamic faiths. So there you go.
That's what they're about. I find it interesting and, as I said before, hilarious.
They're like activist atheists.
Yeah.
They're more productive than the Bill Maher's of the world,
right?
Who choose to be an atheist by staying around going, "Boo religion," right? That's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, they just have the trappings of religion with the horns and the ceremonies and the big American flags that are just in black and white. You know, they have all the theatrics that go along with religion.
How cool of a flag would that be?
Such a cool flag. Also, P.S. That's the background for Outkast's Stankonia album. So pretty dope to begin with.
I think that's what we should do right there. Black and white.
Boom.
when Donnie's out of the White House, the United States is going to need to rebrand.
Oh, I like this idea.
And that's the first thing we do is a new flag.
Right.
Go black and white. Go clean. We don't need all those colors that.
Yeah.
We're just a black and white country.
Right.
Like, we're very simple.
Yeah. Well, it's a funny symbol, right? Because there's separation between those bands. Mm-hmm. And what we really need is a mixing and intermingling. So maybe just a gray flag.
One solid gray flag.
Right. Nothing else. You know what?
Yeah.
It's drab, but it might please the most people.
That's true.
That is a country by focus group.
Fewer people would have a complaint about that.
Right.
Or, in contrast, everyone would have a complaint.
Exactly.
Unifies.
Brings us together. Love it.
New America is going to be great.
It's going to be gray, and it's going to be great.
Here's what we really need to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone's doing the whole Make America Great Again thing.
Sure.
Donnie is ruining everything.
I like how you're calling him Donnie.
Okay. What we need to do is give him a second term. Hear me out. Let it go completely down the toilet.
Yeah, which it will.
Okay. But then it's like the new Coke type of situation.
Okay.
Where we have the new America. Everyone's like, I don't like this America. Can we have America Classic back? And then when he leaves, we're just like, all right, well, let's just undo all of what happened there. That was weird, right?
Nathan, that's the best thing you've ever said.
It's a great idea.
Can we have American Classic back?
Yeah. I don't want New America anymore. I want America Classic.
America Clear. No. No.
Who asked for that?
Who asked for
one.
America Clear? Oh my God.
So yeah, let's give him one more term. 4 more years. 4 more years.
God, I can't imagine it. It might be worth it for the new America, but I don't know if I can stand it. I'm gonna have to drink a lot more. What would be the tab America? Just like,
Canada.
Everyone's pissed at well, no, maybe not Justin Trudeau. Everyone's pissed at Macron right now. So,
well, gas prices.
Gas prices.
I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the whole
I
thing.
don't know.
They have really high gas prices, and everyone's like,
France.
I hate that.
Okay, so we have a guy at work who speaks fluent French, and he'll sometimes show around French people.
Does he say oui, oui?
Well, he can. Accurately. He told me a lot of nice things about the French, but he also told me, now I'm uninformed on this, so don't have action on this. I don't know if this is true or not at all.
Don't have action on it?
Right, yeah. He told me that in Paris, first of all, he said Europeans super racist, Italians super racist, French super racist, Spanish super racist, everybody.
Yeah.
He said that if you're immigrating to France, right, you cannot live in Paris for like 2 years. Like, you have to live outside of the city for a couple of years until they'll let you.
You're like
live.
on probation,
like, even if you can afford it, right? Like particularly Muslim countries. Like, if you're Muslim and you come to France and you want to live, unless you can afford so much that you can pay off everybody, like, no, like, you cannot live in the city.
Interesting.
For a couple of years. Yeah.
Anyone?
I mean, I don't know if it's anyone or if it's more specifically Muslim people.
So let's say,
yeah,
I don't know, who feels like they would go to France? Quentin Tarantino.
I'm sure they would let him.
He wants to move to France.
He has the cultural cachet.
Do they let him go to Paris and then he can sniff all the feet he wants there, or does he have to?
Does he do that?
Oh, he's a foot guy.
He's a foot guy?
Yeah.
Is that where does the foot massage thing tie in? I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah. No, he's definitely a foot guy. Have you never heard that Quentin Tarantino's a foot guy?
Never heard that before.
Oh, yeah. He's a foot guy.
Never
Loves the
heard
feet.
that.
That's what he uses the internet for.
You know what? I'm not a foot guy. I feel like I have to say this up front. I mean, I have my kinks. We all do. But I'm not
We
a foot
all
guy.
know that if Justin likes two things,
All right.
it's Satan
Yeah.
and it's feet.
Into hooves. Love hooves.
Right.
No. So God damn you, Nathan. So I gotta say though, I don't think the foot fetish is the weirdest fetish.
No.
By far.
Okay, so
By far.
it feels like it on the surface.
Sure.
But then you start thinking about it, and
Right.
you're like, oh, it's not what I do.
Right.
But I mean,
It's a body part.
it could be worse.
It's not.
It could be a lot
way
worse.
worse. There are people so far afield
Yeah.
from something that has to do with an actual person's body.
I mean, really, if the creepiest person you run into in life is like, I just really like feet. Like, that's not bad.
That's not bad. I could be friends if I knew that you had a foot fetish.
Which I absolutely do not.
Which you don't.
I am repulsed by feet.
There's some shame involved, I think, if you have a foot. But we could still be friends.
Yeah.
Like, that would not have an impact
Why
on our
is
friendship.
there shame?
That's a good question. Why is there shame?
I don't know why there
Why
would
is
be
there
shame
shame?
there.
Well, I think the only things that are acceptable for you to like, really, say, okay, just from a man's perspective, like a straight man's perspective, because that's what we know. I think the only things that it's really okay to like are breasts, asses, and vaginas.
Well, yeah.
Those are all okay.
That's the trifecta. But, like, really, I mean, you got leg guys.
Yeah, there's
We're like, oh, I like legs.
guys. But, you
And
know,
the foot's not weirder than the leg, really, when you think about it.
what starts to be weird, I guess, is what I'm wondering. You know, like glasses. You have a thing for glasses? Girls with glasses?
That's a common thing.
Not
though.
weird.
That's not weird to people.
It's like a librarian thing.
That's not weird to people.
Heels, not weird.
Not weird. See, I feel like when
Hosiery, not weird.
when you get to liking specific accessories, it should actually be weirder than liking a foot.
Like, I can't get off unless there's a tennis bracelet.
Right.
Like, it's just so specific. You know, like...
She has to have 5 jelly bracelets on, or I can't do anything.
Silly bands. I don't know what it is. I just can't.
No, I don't feel like that's any less weird.
No.
Really.
No, it's not weird. No, it's not weird at all.
I mean, the foot kind of feels normal.
The foot...
Again.
Yeah.
I can't speak on whether it's normal because to me, feet are disgusting.
Well,
all feet are disgusting. I didn't like my child's baby feet. And they hadn't even done anything. They weren't used. They were new.
Not even in a shoe.
Yeah.
Which is where they get weird.
Nothing.
Feet only get weird because we keep them in shoes all the time. Well, that's not entirely true. Because if we walked around barefoot, our feet would be real gross. Super gross.
He'd built up no calluses, anything like that. And my wife would go, look how cute his feet are. And I'd go, they're fine.
I think that's it, though. I think that's the shame. The shame is that the general perception is that feet are gross, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's where the shame comes in. And so if you're into something that everyone agrees is a little gross,
Right.
like, that's it, you know? But I think probably it's hot for them because it's a little gross. Don't you think?
Maybe.
Like, it's taboo. Anything that's okay, once you make something taboo, right, then it's sexy.
Well, that's
for a
true.
certain amount of people, right?
That,
like,
I mean, let's be honest. Everything, and I do mean everything,
yeah,
is sexy to someone.
right.
Everything.
Truly.
And I mean,
Some of it's weird, some of it's disturbing, some of it's just like, what?
what I think it is, now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
is the foot fetish is like the low-hanging but obvious weird fetish.
Right.
Like, it's not common,
Right.
but it's common enough that you know it exists. And
Right.
so you can just make fun of it all you want.
Right. I mean, we do sexualize, like, pieces of women's bodies a lot.
Just not feet.
Well,
for most people.
But even like, look, like, think about like a shoe catalog. You know what I mean? Like, it's you don't see, you see some faces. Mostly you see ankle down.
How weird would it be if in every picture in a shoe catalog there was also a face?
Yeah, right. Like she's bending down to get something.
She just has to hold her foot up by her head.
They're all one-legged. Yeah.
The ones that aren't flexible enough, there's just someone else laying next to their shoe.
Right. And there is something to women's shoes. I mean, there's like a lot of detail put into women's shoes. You know what I
feel
mean?
like we're gradually working to you having a foot fetish all of a sudden.
Possibly. I
Like
don't
we
know.
just therapized you all the way.
Circularly. I'm going to have to go to therapy and say, listen, I got a new thing. Which I see a woman for therapy, so that would be hard.
Yeah.
That would be difficult.
Just don't look at her feet while you're telling her. How awkward would that be?
Difficult.
If you're in a therapy session, think about this. Just imagine the Curb Your Enthusiasm level awkwardness here.
Oh my God.
Where you're talking about a foot fetish
Right.
in your therapy session and you keep glancing at your therapist's feet. So awkward. So
tough.
awkward.
So tough. I mean, I can't look her in the eye when I'm talking about feelings.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't
You gotta
imagine.
focus on something.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I focus on? I focus on the bookcase.
Mm-hmm.
There is a slim bookcase of about, I don't know, 30 books maybe.
I wonder what percentage of therapy sessions there's direct eye contact.
It's hard. I practiced it with her last session where she said, okay, we're talking about different, because there's this theory that like our self is actually parts of ourself, you know what I mean? And different parts can come out like
spleens,
right? Like there is a centralized core self, but then there's like your inner child, and there's
okay,
right?
Yeah.
There's these different parts, right? So we were talking to one of my parts, right? And she said, and I couldn't say in words what I wanted to say, and she's like, well, just have eye contact with me, because we were talking about eye contact earlier. Just look at me and say it with your eyes. Just say it with your expression.
Which part was this?
It was it's like a child part. You know what I mean?
Your
like
inner child?
It's one of the inner children. There's a couple of them.
What you should have done, and hear me out,
Yeah.
As the father of a toddler,
Yeah.
you just scream any random thought you have. It doesn't have to relate to anything.
Right.
It can just be, I want milk.
Right.
Any time of the day, you could be holding milk and you scream, I want milk.
It was powerful. It was difficult.
Yeah.
It was powerful though. It really was, I have to say. I advocate therapy for everyone. If you think you need therapy,
It seems like a whole thing.
It is a whole thing, but go for it. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose.
I'd have to talk to a person.
Sure.
I'd have to let my guard down.
Provided you're not Larry David and you see your therapist on the beach in a thong, you're fine. Do you remember that episode?
Yes. See, I'm going the other route. I'm just going to bottle up everything inside until it eats a hole in my stomach lining and I die.
Okay, well, that is one way to live. Mm-hmm. That's one way to live.
I'm just going to ulcer to death.
Wow. Wow. I watched a video today from National Geographic about a man who's 109 years old. Uh-huh. But women live longer generally. But this guy is 109.
Right.
And he's an older African-American gentleman somewhere in the South. I'm not sure where.
Wow.
Right.
You survived that long in the South.
Exactly.
Like everything you eat is fried in the South. That's impressive.
Get this. Not only that, guy smokes upwards of 12 cigars a day.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. He's a George Burns, right? George Burns was super old, or at least looked super old.
Right.
And apparently just drank and smoked and had sex all the time. Anyway, this guy...
I'd like to know, did this guy always do it, or did he hit like 80? And
I don't know.
I don't even care anymore.
Right.
Give me 12 of them.
That's the crucial deciding factor, I feel like. And he's not a... Listen, he's not a wealthy guy.
Right.
So he's not smoking good stuff. He's smoking shit cigars. Had to be. 12 a day. What the fuck? I mean, not every day, but some days.
Even the cheap ones, that's expensive.
Exactly. That adds up, right? It's not 12 cigarettes a day.
Right.
That's 12 cigars a day. So,
which, by the way, 12 cigarettes a day still feels like a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. By the way, I heard the French only smoke like 4 a day. It's after every meal and 1 at night or something. Anyway, neither here nor there. So...
I'll never know because I'm not allowed to live in Paris.
You're not. You'll have to stay outside of Paris for 12 years. 2 years. Maybe 12 years for you. Who knows? They don't like you.
No.
They don't like you over there.
You don't fit in yet.
We checked you out. Not ready.
You make too many baguette jokes.
So this guy, 12 cigars,
Yeah.
wakes up at various, he says it. He says, yeah, sometimes I wake up 1, 2, 3. I'm assuming AM. I don't know. And he says, yeah, I'll have like 4 cups of coffee. Or, this morning I had like 4 whiskeys. I'm like,
I hate this man.
What?
I want to be that man.
Right? He fought in World War II. He has a house that he's lived in since 1945.
Right.
He is with a 91-year-old woman.
Oh.
I know.
Robbing the cradle.
I know, right? I mean, he's nigh on 30 years older than her, right? Like, right?
He's quite a bit older.
I can't do math, but yeah. Again, I mean, and the video is tagged like, he will charm you with life advice. And honestly, I learned nothing.
Well,
I learned zero from this
His
man.
life advice is, I didn't do anything I was supposed to do.
I just lucked out.
So.
Just lucked out.
Genetics?
Right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
I mean, I've watched a shocking amount of... There's a lot of videos on YouTube that are like, 100-year-old plus people give you life advice. And I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah. I feel like they would have something to say versus like you're 23. And I mean, maybe you are. Maybe you're super profound. I don't know. I'm 34. But, I don't know. I just feel like someone who has lived to that age...
They should know something.
They should know something about how to live your life, right?
See, I feel like if I were that guy... Like I was saying, like 75 or 80.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, like this is just going on forever.
This is taken.
And that's when you start picking up all the bad habits.
Right.
It's just like,
Exactly.
Meth? Should I try meth? Doesn't matter. I'm 80.
Right. I mean, I've always said that too. And I think, what is it? Little Miss Sunshine, right? That movie?
Yeah.
Where Alan Arkin does heroin and he's the grandpa, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like, I don't want to do heroin, but like, I don't know. I would try stuff when I was that age.
There's a speech I read at one point from Kurt Vonnegut. Like, it was towards the end of his life. And he lived to be in his 80s.
Did he? Okay.
Like he lived a long time, and he got Kurt Vonnegut Day at his hometown. So this was his speech, and one of his opening lines was, "I'm looking into putting a lawsuit in against the Pall Mall Company. They told me I'd be done a lot sooner than this." And here
great.
I am.
That's great. I love that. Oh my gosh.
Like, I feel like that's how I would be at that point. I'm like, I didn't do any of the stuff I'm supposed to do. I ate no salads.
I mean, for me, it's like I ate a lot of Reese's Cups. I drank a lot of beer.
My diet for the last 15 years has just been Snicker bars. Just Snickers. Nothing else.
I'm doing marginally better than the Big Mac guy. Like marginally better. So yeah, but I mean, some of the other videos have legitimate advice. Like, hey, know the people you live around, have relationships, have a community. I think that's all really valid, like,
right.
I feel like, say you and I are super old someday. Now we're in our 30s, but fast forward, I don't know, 50 years. We're in our 80s.
Okay.
Right. If we're still doing this every day, or at least getting together, not every day, every week.
Oh, no. At that point, we're retired. We can have a daily podcast. It doesn't matter.
Fine. That's something to live for. That's something to live for, Nathan.
All right, so that's the plan. When we both retire, daily podcast.
Daily podcast. Love it.
Every day.
Yeah, every day. We're coming at you, finally. Like, who records every day? Marin? Yeah, Marin records like every day, right?
It's like twice a week.
Okay.
We're better than Marin. I feel like that's like Adam Carolla territory, right?
You
there.
guys will be listening to Sushi Shack Knife 1000 someday.
And we're going to be, because we're old men.
Right.
Every episode's just going to start off with, so I was at the store and this kid came up.
On his
I
hoverbike.
don't know what's up with kids these days.
We're already saying that.
I know, but imagine how bad it will be by then.
It's going to be super bad.
Or it flips around.
Oh, wow.
What if our midlife crisis just flips us the other way?
Right.
And we Benjamin Button this shit.
Oh, I love that
Oh,
shit. That's
man.
a great idea. Do you remember that movie where it's two older guys? I'm not going to remember the name of this. It might require research. Two older guys.
Grumpy old men.
Not Grumpy
Grumpier
Old
old men.
Not any of the Grumpy Men franchise. However, love those movies. Especially the first one. So good. There's a movie, though. It's an 80s movie where these two old guys get out of prison and they're lifelong friends, right?
I
You know what I'm talking
actually
about?
vaguely know what you're talking
And
about.
they both they get really fit. They start dating. It's the 80s. They're dating like, you know, younger women or whatever. And then one's jealous of actually one of them is really sad. I think that's how it goes. And one is like living it up. And I think they're trying to pull like one last heist. I remember this movie so specifically.
I have
but I
vague
can't
recollections
think of the
this
name
being a
of it.
movie.
What is the name of this movie?
I don't know.
I'm going to try to find it. Hang on. This has to be known because it's a whole thing.
What have you noticed that the plot of nearly every 80s comedy was they date a bunch of younger women?
Yeah,
that's
true.
just a major
That's
plot
true.
point in all of the movies.
That is true. Yeah, it's not really fair, but that's a thing.
The 80s were fun. I mean, you
different
had
time.
that, you had Reagan. Like everything was great.
Tough Guys.
Tough guys.
Tough Guys, 1986. That's
Who's that?
exactly what I'm thinking of. It stars Burt Lancaster,
There we go.
Kirk Douglas, Charles Durning. I think one of those is the foil. I think Charles Durning might be the foil. Actually, yep. This is the movie.
Yep.
Kirk Douglas, Burt Lancaster, Tough Guys. Boom, 1986. That was on TBS fucking constantly, and I've seen
Probably
it many,
still is, but now it's at 3 a.m.
exactly. I've seen
They
it many
just bumped
times.
it back in the rotation.
IMDb gives it a 6.2 out of 10. I don't know.
That's not bad.
Not bad. Not
That's
bad.
I mean, I've seen a lot worse
Truth.
from movies I like. IMDb upsets me sometimes because I'll have a movie that I remember watching as a kid
Right.
and thinking that was a great movie. And then you go on IMDb and it's like 4.2. No, it was at least an 8. Shut
Right.
up.
Of course it was. Yeah, the synopsis is 2 elderly gangsters are released from prison only to find they have trouble fitting in as old men who still take no guff from anyone in the world of 1986. They're train robbers.
But it's 1986, and so they just date young women
That's what happened.
because that's the major plot point.
Correct. Correct.
The 80s were a weird. If
They
you
were.
start looking at movie tropes from the 80s, there were like 4 movie plots in
Right.
the 80s. That's all there was. And
Oh, yeah.
they just cycled through them
That's
over
true.
and over.
No, that's true. I agree. I completely agree with that statement.
And there were a lot of shenanigans, but they were the same shenanigans in every movie.
Right. Them was boom times.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of it.
That's
know?
true.
Those were good times for people who had money.
Yeah.
Those were good times.
Yeah, for white Wall Street dudes, those were the best times.
Super tits. You know, what did I say?
In the 80s, being a white Wall Street dude
Yeah.
was the thing.
It was the best.
And then flash forward to today, you know who's the worst to everyone? White Wall Street dudes.
dude, no kidding.
Everything comes around, man.
Secular man. Listen.
Martin Scorsese, no one likes him. In the 80s, everyone would have liked him.
What was that movie that came out about the financial crisis?
The Big Short,
That was it. Great movie.
very good.
I watched that twice.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Oh, it's such
it
a good movie.
explains the financial crisis
So much.
very clearly,
Right.
very concisely.
Yep.
I knew most of it, but there were weird, fuzzy details that it cleared up very well.
A lot of handsome men in that movie as well.
That was a part of it.
I'm
yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah. Gosling's in that shit. Also, other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we all know whose feet Justin's interested
What
in.
have we learned tonight? Satan, feet, and
Gosling.
Gosling. Yeah, that's what I'm up to.
That's the big three right there. We need to start for the podcast just a Justin's big five. Justin's 5 big things right now are in order. Satan.
Oh,
Feet. Ryan Gosling. I believe Reese's cups were on there.
They're always there. Always there.
And videos of old men.
Love it.
The internet has everything.
I can see it all
Videos of old men and videos of feet.
at the same time.
Hot dog.
All I have to say is, damn you, Flaming Lips beer. Damn you, damn you. And Sushi Jackknife.
Sushi Jackknife.
Oh, we love you all.